What this little puppy did to the crying baby was surprising. It left Mum in tears. What this little puppy did next revealed a truth this mother never expected. Emma heard her baby screaming from the nursery, the kind of scream that pierces through your chest and makes your heart drop. She ran down the hallway, her bare feet slapping against the cold floor, panic flooding her veins. But when she reached the doorway, she froze. Their tiny Samoyed puppy, Snowball, had somehow climbed into the crib. His fluffy white body was pressed gently against baby Lily, curled around her like a protective cloud, and then the crying stopped. Lily's shaky little hand reached up and grabbed Snowball's fur. The puppy let out a soft, almost human-like whimper and wrapped his body even closer around her. Emma's eyes filled with tears because what she was witnessing was something she never could have imagined. Emma had always dreamed of being a mother, but nothing could have prepared her for this. Lily was 5 months old, beautiful, precious, perfect, and she cried all the time. The pediatrician called it colic. Emma called it torture. Every evening, like clockwork, Lily would scream for hours. Nothing worked. Not rocking, not singing, not feeding, not holding. Emma felt like she was failing. She was exhausted, sleep-deprived, lonely. Some nights she cried right along with her baby, whispering through tears, "I'm trying. I just don't know what you need." That's when they brought Snowball home. He was a 10-week-old Samoyed puppy, pure white, impossibly fluffy, with eyes like little black buttons. Emma thought maybe, just maybe, a puppy would bring some joy back into their home. At first, Snowball was just adorable. He'd watch Lily curiously from across the room, tilt his fluffy head whenever she cried. He'd lay outside the nursery door, waiting. Sometimes he'd bring his toys to the crib, a squeaky bone, a tiny sock. Once, he dragged Emma's slipper all the way from the bedroom. Emma thought it was cute, but she didn't see what was really happening. As the weeks went on, something changed. Every single time Lily cried, Snowball would rush to her room. He'd scratch gently at the side of the crib, whine softly, circle back to Emma, then back to Lily, like he was trying to tell her something. Emma found it sweet, but also a little frustrating. "Snowball, I'm handling it," she'd say, exhausted. "You're just a puppy. You don't understand." But Snowball didn't stop. Lily's crying got worse, during feedings, at night, in the car. Even in her sleep, Emma felt hopeless, like she was drowning in her own home. One night, after hours of trying to soothe Lily, Emma sat on the floor of the nursery and broke down. "I'm trying," she sobbed. "I'm trying so hard. I just don't know what she needs." And that's when Snowball walked over, rested his fluffy head on Emma's lap, and looked up at her with those deep, knowing eyes. For a moment, Emma felt less alone. But then, something even stranger started happening. Snowball became insistent, obsessive even. He refused to leave the nursery. He'd stay outside Lily's crib for hours, watching her, guarding her, like she was his littermat. Every time Lily coughed, Snowball whined. Every time she stirred in her sleep, he'd nudge Emma awake. When Lily cried, Snowball would physically push Emma toward the crib with his little body. Emma started to lose patience. "Snowball, stop! I need space." "You're making this harder." She even put him outside the room a few times, but he'd scratch at the door, crying until she let him back in. The audience watching this unfold could sense it. Snowball knew something Emma didn't. But what you're about to hear next will leave you speechless. Stay with me. It was a Tuesday night. Emma remembers it clearly. Lily was screaming louder than she ever had before. A desperate, guttural cry that made Emma's chest tighten with fear. She ran to the nursery, and when she opened the door, she stopped dead in her tracks. Snowball had climbed into the crib. Emma's first instinct was panic. She started to rush forward, but then she paused. Because Snowball wasn't hurting Lily. He was helping her. The tiny puppy had curled his fluffy body around the baby. His warm belly was pressed gently against Lily's chest. His little paw rested on her stomach, soft and steady. And then Lily stopped crying. Her breathing evened out. Her tiny fists unclenched. Her eyes fluttered closed. Within seconds, she was asleep. Emma stood there, tears streaming down her face, unable to move, unable to speak, because she finally understood. Snowball had been trying to tell her all along. The next day, Emma showed the video to Lily's pediatrician. The doctor smiled knowingly. "Babies with colic," she explained, "respond to pressure and warmth. It calms their nervous system. What your puppy did, that's what therapy dogs are trained to do." Emma's breath caught. "He was acting on instinct," the doctor continued. "Some dogs can sense pain and distress more accurately than we can. He knew your baby needed comfort, and he gave it to her." Emma felt her heart shatter and heal at the same time. Snowball had been trying to help from the very beginning, and she'd pushed him away. That night, Emma went back through the security camera footage. What she found left her sobbing. Snowball stayed up all night watching Lily. Every single night. When Lily's breathing sounded irregular, Snowball alerted Emma. When Lily gasped in her sleep, Snowball placed his paw on her chest. When Lily cried, Snowball cried too. In every single clip, Snowball wasn't being mischievous or annoying. He was protecting her. Emma crumpled to the floor, clutching Snowball in her arms. "You knew," she whispered through tears. "You knew my baby needed help before I did." Snowball licked her face. And for the first time in months, Emma felt like everything was going to be okay. And trust me, what happens next will warm your heart in ways you never expected. From that night on, everything changed. Snowball became Lily's unofficial therapy dog. Whenever she was fussy, Emma would bring Snowball close, and like magic, Lily would calm down. The two formed a bond that can only be described as pure love. Lily stopped crying as often. Emma started sleeping again. The house felt lighter, warmer, full of life again. Every night, Snowball slept beside Lily's crib on a fluffy blanket, watching, waiting, protecting. One morning, Emma walked into the nursery and saw something that made her heart stop. Lily was giggling. Her tiny hands were buried in Snowball's fluffy white fur. Snowball was licking her little fingers, his tail wagging so hard his entire body wiggled. And Emma just stood there, watching, tears rolling down her cheeks, because she realized something. She wasn't alone. She never had been. Sometimes our greatest comfort doesn't come from people. Sometimes it comes from the smallest, fluffiest hearts beside us. Snowball wasn't just a puppy. He was family. He was a protector. He was exactly what they needed, even when they didn't know it yet. And as Emma watched her baby girl laugh for the first time in weeks, wrapped in the warmth of a little white puppy who refused to give up on her, she whispered 2 words, "Thank you."